Sometimes you get the love of your existence while you're too younger, and also you do not know the way to cope with it. And so I suppose that changed into me. I was looking to help him get off capsules. Tanya Tucker became as soon as slapped through Glenn Campbell in public, but she still went back to him. She drowned herself in cocaine, partied with the most important stars best to be avoided by the United States song enterprise, and lose the whole thing. But decades later, the woman who had hit rock bottom stood at the Grammy stage, protecting the trophy she had chased her complete life. How did a singer who seemed doomed by way of scandals, dependency, and prejudice manage to upward push once more and claim victory? Tanya Tucker isn't only a mythical voice, she is one of the most arguable figures in U.S. song. And from a teenage celebrity to a rebellion who defied each norm. From a tumultuous, violent relationship with Glenn Campbell to years misplaced in alcohol and pills. From her surprising choice to emerge as a single mother to her open confrontations with fellow artists. She never standard silence. What others averted, she confronted. What turned into taken into consideration wrong, she become her signature. But that same defiance came at a heavy charge. She turned into once brushed off as a relic of the beyond, but at 60, she reignited the U.S. song enterprise with an effective comeback. She had spent years on the sidelines of major awards, most effective to, in the end, draw close a Grammy after 14 failed nominations. This isn't a fairy story. It is a journey of shocks, setbacks, and surprising resurrections. So what without a doubt occurred for the duration of Tanya Tucker's wildest years? Does she virtually deserve the identify of legend, or is she only a reckless soul who got a 2D hazard? Stay with us until the end of this video to discover it all. Tanya Tucker was born on October 10, 1958 in Seminole, Texas, as the youngest of 3 siblings. Her father, Jesse Melvin Bo Tucker, was not a wealthy guy, nor a person would have an impact on within the track industry. He was a heavy equipment operator, taking up any job he may want to assist his own family. Their lives were something, however solid, constantly transferring between Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. Now not out of a love for adventure, however, out of necessity. One day, Bo Tucker is probably operating on an oil rig, the next as a production employee, and the day after that, riding a truck. But no matter wherein they lived, one element remained consistent inside the Tucker household: music. Tanya grew up surrounded by way of the sounds of USA tune pouring out from the simplest radio in their domestic. The voices of Jimmy Rogers, Merle Haggard, Loretta Lynn, and Patsy Cline crammed the air daily, seeping into her soul before she even found out it. But what set Tanya apart turned into that she didn't simply pay attention, she absorbed, she imitated, she felt. And quickly she understood that music is probably her only manner out of this unsure lifestyles. When her older sister LaCosta changed into praised via the family for her making a song, Tanya craved the identical popularity. However now, not for amusing, she wanted to be a singer to alternate the moment that changed Tanya's lifestyles came while she changed into simply 7 years antique. One day she walked as much as her father and informed him she desired to sing for him. Bo Tucker, a difficult man who had seen the harsh realities of lifestyles, chuckled dismissively and said, "You could not bring a tune in a paper sack." But Tanya turned into undeterred. She held her head high and sang Hank Williams' "Your Cheatin' Heart." In that immediately, Bo Tucker fell silent. He found out something critical, approximately his daughter. She had the makings of a star. From that moment on, Bo Tucker guessed the whole thing on Tanya. He bought off the Owen family's property, sold a sky blue Cadillac, and drove the complete Owen family to Nashville, the coronary heart of USA. Song, hoping to steady his daughter's large smash. But reality became harsher than they'd imagined. Bo knocked at the doorways of every file label and control office, but no one wanted to listen to a 9-year vintage lady sing. Producers clearly shook their heads, telling him she become too young, not marketable, that no one desired to listen a baby sing serious United States track. After endless rejections, the circle of relatives left Nashville empty, past, weighed down by means of disappointment. The Cadillac become even repossessed due to the fact they could not preserve up with the bills. But this setback did not destroy them. Bo Tucker continued education his daughter like a warrior. He made Tanya practice her vocals every day, forcing her to repeatedly examine passages from her sister's books to refine her phraseology and discover ways to infuse emotion into each phrase. The most essential lesson he ever taught her became, you need to put twice the emotion into a tune due to the fact no one will consider a touch girl can sing about love or heartbreak. And that is why in a while, whilst Tanya Tucker sang, she did not simply carry out a track. She instructed a tale and made the audience accept as true with it. Dreams regularly need an unmarried possibility to emerge as truth. And Tanya Tucker's threat got here in 1970. When her circle of relatives moved to St. George, Utah, a fateful come-upon modified her life for all time. There, Tanya and her father met Billy Sherrill, one of the maximum powerful manufacturers in Utah music. The man in the back of stars like Tammy Wynette, George Jones, and Charlie Rich. For many artists, catching Sherrill's interest would be an extraordinary stroke of success. But Tanya wasn't simply searching out an opportunity. She desired all of it. At first, Sherrill was hesitant about a younger singer like Tanya. He advised she record "The Happiest Woman in the Whole USA," a light-hearted, pleased track that suited a 13-year antique girl's photograph. But Tanya refused without hesitation. Instead, she selected Delta Dawn, a heavy, melancholic ballad about loneliness, heartbreak, and shattered dreams. Lately done with the aid of Bette Midler on The Tonight Show, a 13-year vintage lady singing approximately a forgotten center-age female wandering the streets, looking ahead to a man who would never return, Sherrill became bowled over, but also intrigued. Tanya stepped into the recording booth, closed her eyes, and commenced to sing. It became no longer the voice of a baby, it was the voice of an antique soul, weathered and deeply emotive. As the melody spread out, any doubts lingering inside the room vanished. Billy Sherrill knew at that moment that he had discovered something absolutely exceptional. In 1972, Delta Dawn became launched. The song exploded onto the charts, climbing into the top 10 at the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart and making 12 months antique Tanya Tucker a national sensation. No one could agree with that such a younger girl ought to supply a tune so haunting, so full of raw emotion. She wasn't only an infant singer, she turned into a once-in-a-technology skills, but achievement came with a heavy fee. Fearing that the general public wouldn't take delivery of a child singing about heartbreak, betrayal, and melancholy, the file label deliberately hid Tanya's actual age. They desired audiences to consider she turned into at the least 16 or 17. Controversy erupted. Should a younger woman be making a song so mature, so tragic? But the moment Tanya Tucker opened her mouth to sing, every doubt disappeared. After the surprising achievement of Delta Dawn, Tanya Tucker proved she'd become no one-hit marvel. In 1973, What's Your Mama's Name became launched and immediately soared to primary on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, making Tanya the second teenage United States of America singer in records to attain this feat, following Jean Shepard in 1953. But what made Tanya first-rate wasn't simply the reality that she was so younger to have a #1 hit. It turned into the way she sang approximately things no person thought a 15-year vintage ought to probably understand. Unlike different young singers, Tanya didn't carry out innocent, cheerful songs intended for teens. Blood Red and Going Down advised the chilling tale of a younger girl witnessing her father murder her mother for infidelity. A music about violence, ache, and loss, but delivered through the voice of a teenage girl. Then got here Would You Lay With Me? In a Field of Stone, an eerie, haunting ballad full of sensuality and devotion till demise, with lyrics that stirred controversy. Tanya's track changed into In No Way Meant for a Younger Girl, but she sang it with such raw energy that audiences could not look away. Columbia Records quickly found out the sizable industrial capacity of Tanya Tucker and determined to capitalize on it to the fullest. She by no means had the risk to grow up like an everyday child. While her friends had been sitting in lecture rooms, Tanya changed into trapped in a constant cycle, recording, traveling, promoting, and repeating. School was abandoned, and her youngsters disappeared below the stage lighting. And then, at 19, Tanya Tucker decided she not wanted to be constrained to the mold of a country singer. In 1978, she launched TNT, an ambitious declaration that no person might dictate her path anymore. No longer natural country, TNT was a rebellious shift in the direction of rock U.A. Full of fierce, high-power tracks, she appeared on the album cover in a tight purple leather outfit, her voluminous hair framing her piercing gaze, a hanging contrast to the candy USA woman picture Nashville had wanted her to maintain. The music establishment became in shock. Industry conservatives branded her a traitor, a wild baby claiming she had destroyed her career. But Tanya didn't care. TNT became certified gold via the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, selling over 500,000 copies. This changed into a sizable fulfillment, especially considering that the album marked her dramatic transition from traditional country to an audacious raucous of a sound. This achievement, now not simplest, cemented Tucker's skills, however, also proved that audiences were equipped to embody innovation in her track. The public now not saw Tanya Tucker being controlled. They noticed a fearless, big name willing to do what no one else dared. She became not simply a country child prodigy. She had ended up an image of revolt. However, success never comes without a charge. By 20, Tanya changed into already a legend. However, her personal life was spiraling out of manage. She became no longer a younger female below the thumb of document executives, but alcohol, capsules, partying, and scandals quickly surrounded her, pulling her into the equal vicious cycle that had ate up many artists earlier than her. The brighter the highlight, the darker the shadows. As the 1980s arrived, Tanya Tucker's story changed into no longer pretty much hit facts. It became considered one of controversies, downward spirals, and self-destruction. Would she be capable of keep on to her area in the enterprise, or become she destined to emerge as simply every other fallen big name? Tanya Tucker's tale became handiest simply starting. If all people thinks Tanya Tucker become only a proficient singer, they're wrong. She became a hurricane that shattered every rule. A fearless rebellion who challenged the conservative us of a track industry, and most significantly, a female who had hit rock bottom, however, nevertheless, observed the energy to upward push once more. In 1979, Tanya Tucker entered one of the most infamous relationships in U.S. past history, while she commenced dating the mythical Glenn Campbell. At the time, she was handiest 21, full of electricity, insurrection, and a passion for dwelling existence on the brink, whilst Campbell became 44, a seasoned guy who were through more than one marriages and had more than sufficient existence experience. Their dating exploded like a media bomb, becoming the center of interest for tabloids and fans alike. But what the general public didn't see in the back of the glamorous facade became a love story riddled with chaos and destruction. In the